step-by-step systems use several kinds of similar, but not identical, interconnected Strowger switches. Each type will be explained during the demo. The switch is the basic unit in the system. Understanding the essential elements of one switch helps explain how several switches work together to make a call. This switch, with the dust cover removed, is called a first selector since it responds to the first dial digit. It was made by the Western Electric Company in the 1960s. At the top are 6 cylindrical relays. For the most part, these control the switch's wiper movements using the mechanism in the center. Here we see the ratcheting mechanics for moving the wipers vertically and horizontally, step by step. At the bottom are 2 stationary contact banks, each with 100 positions. There are 4 bank wipers, but only 3 are wired for use. Let's see the switch in action as a 6 is dialed. The top left relay responds to the dial pulses. This causes advancement of the vertical ratchet, moving the wipers to level 6. Then, the horizontal ratchet automatically rotates the wipers 1 step. Let's close in to see the vertical and horizontal movement again. Only 1 step of horizontal rotation. But why only 1 horizontal step? This will be explained next. Importantly, this switch and its cousins are replicated many hundreds of times to create an interconnected switching fabric. In a large exchange, there may be 1,000 or more calls occurring simultaneously. Roughly 4,000 switches would be needed to make the required talking paths. Interestingly, the switches are assigned dynamically during dialing. Let's look at an example of dynamic call routing. As was shown earlier, the first selector switch accepts the first dial digit, here a 6. Immediately after the dialing, the switch dynamically hunts or searches for a free second selector to accept the second dial digit. For this simple example, the first selector switch has access to 5 second selectors on its horizontal level 6. It starts hunting along the horizontal level, 1 step at a time. At the first position, it finds that selector number 1 is busy. So, the hunting continues and finds selectors 2 and 3 are busy too. It advances to position 4 and finds the 4th switch is idle. The switch is seized by the first selector and hunting stops. Hunting for free switches is key to the dynamic nature of calls set up in a step-by-step exchange. Importantly, switch hunting is rapid, so the second selector is ready before the next digit is dialed. Here is a diagram of the end-to-end talking chain using 4 different, but quite similar switch types. Only the switches in the talking path are shown. The goal is to call subscriber 6349. This is the line finder switch. Next, the first selector. It provides dial tone and responds to the first digit, a 6. Then the second selector. It responds to the second digit, a 3. At the end, the final connector switch. It responds to the final 2 digits, a 4 and a 9. It tests for busy, and if not, rings the called phone. If the subscriber answers,
hello,
this switch completes the talking path. The action starts when the caller goes off hook. A line finder switch searches for the new off-hook subscriber. When the line is found, the caller is connected to an attached first selector and dial tone is provided. Here is a close-up of one line finder bank. There are 3 banks per switch. A line finder can find 1 out of 200 subscribers. Switches are an expensive resource. A free line finder is chosen from a pool of switches to search for the new off-hook subscriber. This switch searches in 2 dimensions to find the new caller. First, it steps vertically. Vertical motion stops when this wiper detects a stop signal, say at level 2, on the vertical terminals. Next, it immediately starts horizontal searching, one step at a time. It stops rotary motion when this wiper detects a stop signal on a bank contact, say, at position 9. Each line finder is permanently connected to a first selector where dial tone is served. Let's see this in action. Wow, that happened fast. Let's see that again in slow motion. First, look for the vertical wiper to move to level 2, then immediately the horizontal wiper rotates to position 9, the location of the new off-hook subscriber. The final resting position is related to the calling subscriber phone number, but not important to us here. One more time. Next, the first selector is seized and provides dial tone. Then the caller dials the first digit, a 6. As covered earlier, after the 6 is received, the switch hunts for a free second selector and finds it on position number 1 of level 6. Let's see this. Next, the idle second selector is seized and ready for the next dial digit, a 3. Let's see it respond, then hunt for the final connector switch. So far, a 6 and 3 have been dialed. Next, a 4 and 9 are dialed to complete the call. This switch is called the final connector. It accepts 2 digits and tests for busy. If idle, it rings the called phone. No need to hunt for another switch. It's at the end of the chain. If someone answers, this switch completes the talking path. Here the caller dials 49. Let's see the switch respond with vertical and rotary motions. So that's it. The making of a 4-digit call on a step-by-step system. Let's review the process. As soon as the caller goes off hook, the line finder searches for the line. Once found, the first selector is connected to the subscriber and provides dial tone. The first digit is dialed, a 6, and the switch hunts for an idle second selector. This switch accepts the second digit, a 3. Then it hunts for an idle final connector. This switch accepts the last 2 digits, a 4 and a 9. If the called phone is idle, the bell rings and the caller hears the ring tone. If the caller answers, a talking path is made.
Hello.
At the end of the call, all the switches are reset to their home position. Almond Strowger started a revolution in telephone switching in 1892 with the world's first automatic telephone exchange. Step-by-step systems were popular worldwide for more than 100 years.